I'm going to do a reaction to Vegan Gains. He's on a live debate with some dude here.
I don't know if you're telling the truth. I don't know if you know whether you're telling the truth or not. I think you probably just picked your cherry picked studies and things like that, and you're now trying to turn around and be like, oh, you see, plants are us. Dude, just like Kellogg's breakfast cereal. Fucking, they funded their own studies and shit like that. Like that shit still happens today. I don't believe anyone when it comes to food. I'll be honest with you, but
I'm with him. I don't believe anybody when it comes to food. Any other tests, I don't care. When it comes to food, it's marketing, it's money.
I do know that humans have been omnivorous since the dawn of time, and you can eat whatever you want at the end of the day. I don't think I don't think you're gonna die immediately because you don't have a steak, but also, um, yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's 100% true. We keep figuring out things that were incorrect from 5 years ago. And people still talk about those things as though they're 100% true. Like cholesterol in eggs. Eggs have good. Oh fuck! I was just poke the shit out of myself. Cholesterol in eggs. Eggs actually have good cholesterol in them. There's two types of cholesterol. I think it's like HDL and LDL.
Actually, they just found out that LDL is not bad cholesterol. They've done reports on it. They've done studies on it now too. LDL and HDL, there's no such thing as bad. It's the plant cholesterols that are bad for you, not animal cholesterols. Like these seed oils and cottonseed and all that. They're all bad for you. They're bad. All of it's bad. Any saturated fat from plants are deadly. Now, when it comes to animal, they're healthy for you because we're animals and we eat animals. We're animals. We're healthy.
I think HDL is the good cholesterol. I
They're
remember
both
growing
good.
up, people were like, "Don't eat
They're only bad when you're eating plant saturated fat.
eggs. Don't eat eggs because they have cholesterol in them." It was the good fucking cholesterol. That's just an example of like how muddied the waters are when it comes to food. So when it comes
Well,
down,
how could something natural be bad for you? Anything in nature that's natural is healthy for you. Now, anything that Richard says, Vegan Gains here, is going to be unhealthy because he's a slave. He's slave to this stuff, man. I don't know. He's an unhealthy person. He's a fake vegan. I call it fake vegan diets.
down to it, yeah, sure. In theory, if everything you're saying is correct, all right, fine. Yeah. Sounds great. Sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I still don't care. Doesn't matter to me at all. I don't plan on living forever. But yeah, sure.
Well, a few things to point out. So, the longest living population on the planet is the Californian Adventist vegetarians. They're the longest living population of people that have ever been studied.
They're not vegetarians. They're eating meat. And vegetarian diets are associated with negative nitrogen balance. So how could they be long living? To be long living, you have to be in a positive nitrogen balance. And the only way to be that is eating protein. And plants are not protein, they're fiber. Only meat is protein. And so that makes you anabolic, that puts you in a positive nitrogen balance. That is associated with anti-aging and longevity. Being in that puts you in anabolism. Now being catabolic, being being in a negative nitrogen balance, making you catabolic is short-lived. It's shortgevity.
Now, in places like Okinawa, Japan, there's a higher amount of centenarians, so people living over 100, but their average.
Yeah, they're all eating pork there. They're eating meat. The centenarians, these so-called centenarians in Japan and Tokyo, they all eat meat out there, and even China.
Life expectancy isn't quite as high. So
their life expectancy is quite high. All the places that eat meat, their life expectancy is the highest. I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about.
The reason you see more centenarians there is probably due to genetics as opposed.
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with genetics. It has to do with they did tests on centenarians. They have high cholesterol. Look, I'll explain this. He says high cholesterol is associated with all these bad things. Okay, cardiovascular, Okay, let's find out.
According to Springerlink, cross-sectional studies have found centenarians to have lower total cholesterol, 9, and insulin tolerance, 10, than younger elderly.
No, that's not the test that I know. Hold on.
According to Springerlink, higher levels of total cholesterol and iron and lower levels of glucose, creatinine, uric acid, aspartate aminotransferase, gamma-glutamyl transferase, alkaline phosphatase, lactate dehydrogenase, and total iron binding capacity were associated with reaching 100 years.
See? High levels of total cholesterol were what? Associated with reaching 100 years. Then you get these kind of weird studies. I don't know what they're talking about. Cross-sectional studies have found centenarians to have lower total. I don't know what they mean by lower total, but I do know it's higher levels. Now, let's find out about vegan.
According to Vegan Health, nitrogen balance study on vegans, the mean absolute nitrogen balance was minus 1.38 plus or minus 1.22 grams D, and was statistically lower than the nitrogen equilibrium score of 0, indicating that the average vegan wasn't in nitrogen balance.
Okay, they weren't in. Vegans are not in nitrogen balance. Okay, let's find out what that means. What's that associated with?
According to en.wikipedia.org, negative nitrogen balance is associated with burns, serious tissue injuries, fever, hyperthyroidism, wasting diseases, and periods of fasting. This means that the amount of nitrogen excreted from the body is greater than the amount of nitrogen ingested.
There you go. What does negative? Okay, I don't know, man. It doesn't want to bring it up. You'd have to read this whole thing here. Okay.
According to ScienceDirect.com, a positive nitrogen balance is known as anabolism and is important for wound healing, recovery from illness, and growth. A positive nitrogen balance consists of a greater daily nitrogen intake as compared with nitrogen excretion.
Yeah, and you can only get that from protein.
According to NCBI, the concept of nitrogen balance is that the difference between nitrogen intake and loss reflects gain or loss of total body protein. If more nitrogen is given to the patient than lost, the patient is considered to be anabolic or in positive nitrogen balance.
There you go. That's associated with longevity. So that's the problem with VeganGains. Vegans they've got low nitrogen balance, like it said there. Right here. The average vegan wasn't in nitrogen balance. They're not in nitrogen balance. They're not in a nitrogen balance. Get it, broski? They're catabolic because
According to NCBI, determination of protein requirements in clinical practice, if more nitrogen is lost than given, the patient is considered to be catabolic or in negative nitrogen balance, a nitrogen balance within minus 4 or minus 5 grams per day to plus 4 or plus 5 grams per day is usually considered nitrogen equilibrium.
And that's what these vegan people are in. That's what vegans are in. You understand me? Yeah, man. Anyways, that's just funny stuff, bro. But whatever. Okay, let's go on with this. I don't want to waste time here. See what else he has to say.
There is probably due to genetics as opposed to like lifestyle factors.
Has nothing to do with genetics. It has everything to do with what you're doing, your lifestyle.
Secondly, there's very large and long-term cohorts like the Adventist Health Studies and the...
Yeah, but there's also studies from NCBI, PubMed, that explain that fructose in these fruits, fructose, which is found in vegetables and fruits, are associated with brain damage, DNA damage, mitochondrial dysfunction. You'll have loss of power as you'll have a lot of loss of power as you get older. A lot of loss of power. It'll do all kinds of stuff to you. Plus, he hasn't mentioned the arsenic. What makes arsenic in rice healthy for you, and cyanide in these seeds? These seeds that they smash into wheat and stuff to make bread and all these weird products and everything, or eating these nuts and seeds which are filled with cyanide. How is that healthy for you? And what about all the oxalates that are found in vegetables and fruits? Is that healthy too? Oxalates, lectins, and polyphenols, which are poisonous to humans. Cyanide, arsenic, and oxalates poisonous. How is that healthy for you?
Oxford vegetarian cohort.
Yeah.
Vegans and vegetarians do live longer than.
Let me get this straight. Vegans and vegetarians, which are eating poison, these poisonous plants, are living longer? How does poison make you live longer, VeganGains? How?
Typical meat eaters.
Meat eaters? Yeah, but meat eaters are not being poisoned. There's no sugar. They're not on drugs. They're not eating drugs called sugar, and there's no poison in meat. There's just nutrients. So how could that be bad for you? Nutrients. It's not deficient in any nutrient meat, and they're actually finding more in it because they've done more studies on it.
And on top of that, there's trials like the Leon Hart trial, where they put people on a Mediterranean diet pattern, again, lowered their saturated fat and cholesterol intake.
Again, Mediterranean diets are fake. As humans, we're carnivore. There are herbivores and carnivores. We are carnivores. We eat meat. Now, anything we eat outside of that, our natural food that we eat, meat, natural, I'm talking about natural, eating it actually in its natural state, raw. Anything that without it being processed, if you do something to it, it's processed, okay? That's what processing means. You've done something to it. It's not natural. So anything that you do outside is considered a diet. So whatever he's talking about, these phony diets and everything, they're man-made. They're not of nature. They're man-made. So they're bound to be corrupted, to be bad for you, of course.
Ate more whole plant foods.
Remember, you're breaking the laws of nature as a human, eating these fake diets. You will pay a price.
Beans, lentils, fruits and vegetables, and lowered their red meat intake.
Yeah, that's not for us. What is with this red meat intake? Beef is good for you. Why? Because it looks red? Is that it?
And that's one of the most successful trials for treatment of heart disease.
Look, if somebody wants to make you into a vegan, he has to lie to you. Of course, Richard is going to lie. Of course he's going to lie. He's going to try to confirm a lot of people's fake beliefs, trying to make you imagine in your head that these things are healthy for you and meat's bad for you, because people believe what they're told because they're too stupid to investigate for themselves.
And the egg thing you mentioned, eggs do raise your LDL bad cholesterol, which is the...
It's been found that LDL is not bad for you. That's a lie. He's fabricating that. Look, he doesn't know anything vegan. He makes up a lot of stuff. He even tells you that there were Neanderthals out there and these people and they weren't strong and this and that. Meanwhile, these people didn't exist, and whether they were strong or not didn't exist, but he'll just fabricate it. Yes, for some reason he's a centenarian. He's over 100,000 years old. He was there. He saw these things. He recorded them. Come on, man. VeganGains doesn't know anything. He's born with instincts to survive. He has no knowledge. Only the stuff that he reads, and he thinks what he reads is real, that humans, they must not lie to us or make up stuff, right?
It's the primary cause of atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease.
It is? Yeah, but it's not from animal sources, from natural sources. It's when you're eating unnatural foods, Richard. Get it?
So eggs will raise your HDL cholesterol somewhat, but the majority of the increase in your serum cholesterol score is going to come in the form.
Yeah, but so will plant seed oils and these saturated fats from your plant products. They'll raise LDL too. Which one is bad? The natural one from animals or the fake one from your fake diet called plants? Which one, Richard?
The bad kind of cholesterol, the
Bad
LDL.
cholesterol, yeah, it's a bad cholesterol. Must be the plants, I think. Oops.
So,
Did you know that bodybuilders live less time on average?
yes, and that's
Bodybuilders live less time on average. Well, if you're accelerated, yeah, these people that are accelerated aging, lifting, of course you're shortening your lifespan. But here's the thing. They're eating fake diets too. These people are eating carbohydrates. They're eating fake diets. They're eating plants. That's why they're they're living less. They're not doing anything natural that they're supposed to. They're doing a lot of unnatural things. These so-called fake bodybuilders, get it?
due to their bad diet and steroid use. And
Yeah, what's their bad diet? What's the bad diet? Well, they're eating processed food, fruits and vegetables, and arsenic and cyanide nuts and seeds and fucking arsenic rice and a bunch of other stuff and oxalates and shit. Yeah, and they're accelerated aging by lifting, lifting slaves.
so the stress from competing, like the dehydration and crap.
Yeah, the stress. Not the dehydration. The stress. Just say it. And eating plants, which cause inflammatory response, stress in your cells.
How do you know it's not specifically because they're lifting weights? How do you know lifting weights isn't bad for you?
Well, there's
Lifting weights is bad for you.
studies on this.
Studies by who? Big Planet Fitness?
No.
This guy's funny. Big Planet Fitness? No, it's kind of obvious. It stresses you. Lifting anything stresses the body, which accelerates aging.
I think
It raises cortisol. It raises your bad it raises, it raises bad hormones and stuff. Okay.
was done by the National Institute of Health. They have found benefits with resistance training.
No, they haven't. They found zero benefits. Unless you can produce them, Richard, there is zero. They say it doesn't correlate with longevity. That's fake. There are no health benefits from lifting, okay?
So people who resistance train tend to live longer.
That's absolutely a lie. Anything that you do more of physically shortens your lifespan. Increasing your metabolic rate shortens your lifespan. Doing things that are stressful, lifting, shortens your lifespan. Eating an artificial diet shortens your lifespan. It's associated with growth. And if it's associated with growth, if you're growing, you're aging. You're deteriorating faster than you're aging.
Yeah, and no, I actually agree with that as somebody who is in the MMA world myself. I don't disagree with that, right? But the point that I'm trying to make with that.
Why would he not disagree with that when he just said the fake stuff? Oh, man, world. Well, I have to. The funny thing is, these people are lying to themselves. You know how fucking stupid this is, man. Man, it's one thing to lie to other people, but it's another thing to lie to yourself and convince yourself your fake beliefs that, yeah, man, lifting and MMA fighting is going to make you live longer. Give me a fucking break, bro.
That is that you're sitting here pointing to all these people who there are a lot more other things that go on in their life other than them just sitting around eating vegetables all the time. This is actually something that was, to my understanding, noticed in Italy and Italian communities in America. All of a sudden, they went from being a pretty healthy group of people to having a bunch of heart problems and shit like that. And it was because of the diet, but two, the fact that instead of having to walk around and work with their bodies and things like that, cars got invented. Public transportation got invented when they came over from their...
Cars got invented. Public transportation. Well, everything is spread out. You need transportation to get to some location because there's so many of us.
Rustic Italian towns to... New York, the North End, Boston, things really like funny. That, right? What I'm saying is, for one thing, obviously the Seventh-day Adventists are going to be like, yeah, we're the best. Our way of life is the best. But at the end of the day, to sit here and chalk it up to just their diet, that's not nearly the whole picture.
Yeah, so there's no prospective cohort that looks at raw data. They make adjustments to the data set to account for lifestyle factors like exercise, cigarette smoking, socioeconomic status, alcohol consumption. And after adjusting for all of these factors, they are still the longest living population that has been studied. they do live longer than your average American. So, again,
They live longer than the average American because average Americans are eating fast food, which is now made in seed oil, which is bad, associated with bad saturated fat. You understand me? It's poisonous to humans eating seed oils. And it's all in their fast food now. They're not using any more animal products, which kept us healthy. Like lard. They used to put the French fries in lard. They used to make the meat in beef tallow and a bunch of things, okay? They don't do that anymore.
the diet seems to play the significant role here. That's what they're analyzing. They're measuring like for like. They're not comparing populations of people who don't smoke, don't drink, are wealthy, eat very well, exercise, to a population of people who eat poorly, smoke, drink, never exercise, are poor. They're measuring like for like.
What about Indians? They do eat chicken, right? They do eat chicken, so it's
Indians eat chicken? That's a putrid bird. It's filled with it's bad. It's a carnivore animal. It's bad. Don't eat any of those.
it's not the best. It's not the best, I suppose. But
It's the best. You shouldn't be eating them. That's why you have to cook them, because they're filled with parasites, bacteria, and viruses. Do not eat any pork or chickens. They're filled with that.
they don't eat meat, or excuse me, they don't eat red meat, and because of that,
So they don't eat herbivore animals. Stop with the red meat. You're saying they don't eat herbivore animals. They eat carnivore animals, which are putrid.
a lot of their diet seems to be literally spice.
So it has to be extremely cooked. So it's processed. The chicken, when you cook it, and the pork, you're not eating it raw. It's processed. So it's dead. The nutrients are completely, practically dead in there. That's why everybody's starving. That's why these vegans and everybody else out there eating these weird foods and diets, whatever, they're constantly, I'm starving. I can show you a compilation. I'm starving. We're starving. They're always starving.
Is half the time, but
Jesus.
in addition to that, a bunch of other things that are non-meat related. How have you ever have you ever bothered to look into them?
Jesus.
Have you ever bothered to look into anybody else who's not
Yeah.
what you would consider to be a good representation of your ideology?
Yeah, so
A representation of his ideology. I like that one. That's funny, man.
Indians,
I'm sorry I missed most of this. I'm going to go back to watch some of it later. I had to start it at some point when I got on here and saw him debating.
do have higher rates of heart disease, and that seems to be due to their saturated fat consumption.
They have higher rates of heart disease, vegans? Yeah, because they're eating saturated fats from plants.
Primarily.
He keeps saying they have heart disease from eating saturated fat. But saturated fat is associated with longevity. I don't know what he's talking about. And it heals your heart and makes you healthy. What saturated fat is he talking about? I know which one I'm talking about. Which one he talking about?
So they eat a lot of dairy in the form of butter
Oh, dairy? What about dairy? I don't eat dairy, but okay.
or clarified butter, also called ghee. So that's probably the main reason why you see higher rates of heart disease in
Yeah, but India is suffering from diabetes and heart disease. They eat plants. They're vegans there. They have the highest heart attack and cardiovascular disease and diabetes on the planet. What's he talking about? And these plants are filled with saturated fat. Plus, people that eat fast foods, the seed oils are saturated. They're filled with saturated fats. These fast food restaurants in America and all over the place are these vegan diets, and all these plants and seed oils are associated with heart disease and heart attacks and a whole bunch of stuff because it's bad saturated fat. I don't know what he's talking about.
Indians. I've talked to some doctors who've also
He's trying to say that natural food from animals somehow is bad for you? What?
said they also just have narrower arteries.
Why is Elon Musk recommending investment?
I don't know if that's true. There might be some.
Yeah, people that are eating in these fast food joints, eating all this seed oil, all their stuff is being cooked in seed oil, are, yeah, narrowing of these arteries. Yeah, it's causing narrowing, yes.
Genetic differences where they're more prone to atherosclerosis.
No, it's the vegan diets that are causing it. That's what's causing it. These people they're eating more vegan now than ever.
But they eat a lot of saturated fat.
Yeah, and VeganGains eats a lot of saturated fat because he's a vegan. He eats a lot of these French fries, which are cooked in saturated seed oil fats. Get it? And everything else. It's associated with cancer, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and a whole bunch of other diseases, metabolic disturbances, you name it.
There's also issues with like malnutrition and crap in India. There's a lot of
Even the chips are made in these seed oils, which is saturated fat. It says on the package, it says seed oil, saturated fats. Sometimes they try to tell you non-trans fats and all that. Well, that isn't made from animal fat, is it? No. If these trans fats, these saturated fats, it says they're made from seed oils. Well, it's not made. These chips are not being made in animal saturated fat. These chips and these French fries at the fast food joints are all made in what? Seed oil, saturated fat. So what's he talking about?
poor people. I think they also have a pretty high.
Poor people eat vegan diets. Rich people eat herbivore animals, meat.
Smoking prevalence. And pollution in India is also really bad. There's a lot of
Yeah, pollution is bad in India, and so are the vegans. They're all suffering. They're all vegan. They're dying.
Smog from the traffic.
I mean, they're unhealthy. They look terrible. Their hair, their face, their skin, they look really ugly. I mean, the whole society is just like one big collapse because vegan diets.
Jams and cars running all day.
Yeah.
There's a variety of reasons why you see higher rates of heart disease in places like India, despite them eating much.
Yeah, you want to know why they have high heart disease in India? Because they're vegan. That's why.
Lower quantities of red meat.
Yeah, they eat lower quantities of red meat. That's why they have high cardiovascular disease, heart attacks, because they eat vegan diets. The saturated fat is bad for you. Saturated fat, vegan diets are bad for you.
People have also pointed out the Japanese, they have very low rates of heart disease despite eating.
Of course, the Japanese have low rates of heart disease because they don't eat a lot of these plant saturated fats. They eat a lot of sushi. They eat raw fish. They eat meat, raw fish. They do eat rice, unfortunately, which is filled with arsenic. I don't know exactly. Some other things they eat there too, but seaweed, whatever, blah blah blah. But for the most part, they do eat a lot of raw. They eat raw meat too there because Benihanas. They eat raw meat. They eat raw fish, whatever.
A very high cholesterol intake. Now
if they have a high animal cholesterol intake, then definitely for sure they're gonna have problems.
Very low amounts of saturated fat, and saturated fat.
They eat lower amounts of saturated. Yeah, I don't know which saturated fat. You mean the one from animals or the one from plants?
That has a much bigger effect on your serum cholesterol score and thus your risk of heart disease than dietary
Exactly. So stop eating plant saturated fats.
cholesterol. So that accounts for those sorts of differences.
Look, he's drinking Coca-Cola there. He's drinking Coke, man. Coke is got phosphoric acid in there. It weakens your bones and shit like a motherfucker. Destroys your teeth, weakens your bones, you're bad for your skin, removes collagen from your skin, minerals, it demineralizes your bones, your teeth. It fucking weakens your joints, the connective tissue and your muscles.
Okay.
So again, if we have
Plus, it increases the sugar in it, raises the corn syrup, raises the sugar, corn syrup. Man, it's poisonous anyways. It raises your insulin. It spikes insulin, making you insulin resistant on top of that.
interest in living longer, healthier lives, I would say a plant-based dietary pattern is going to be.
That's funny. How's that working out for Richard? He's falling apart. He's literally falling apart, breaking bones and knees and joints and getting surgeries and a whole bunch of stuff. He's actually very weak at this point. He's in negative nitrogen balance because he's a vegan. You know that. We already brought that up. We talked about it. It's associated with negative nitrogen balance vegans. It's not as they're not their diet's not associated with positive nitrogen balance. They're in catabolism. If you're catabolic, what does that mean to you? People who eat protein are anabolic.
Ideal. And if you have an interest in not being a genocidal asshole who pays for animals to get tortured and murdered.
Wait, we torture animals and then murder them? Why would we torture them? If we eat animals, why would we torture them and then eat them? I don't torture animals by eating them alive, Richard. You understand me? I would kill the animal first before I eat them. So why would we torture animals before we kill them? Is that some new cult or something? Are you talking about a cult? They torture before they kill or something? What is this? Why would they torture the animal before they kill it? That makes no sense. That would exhaust people doing that. That would take up a lot of energy to do that. I have to torture the animal first before I kill him, before I eat him. Oh, okay. Most hunters out there, they don't torture the animal. They kill it and then they eat it. Don't know why anybody would want to torture any animal before they kill it to eat it. That would cause it to be stressed, right? They're trying to minimize the stress in the animal. So why would they torture it? Then the stress hormones would come out. So the meat would be bad because it would be filled with stress hormones. So yeah, I doubt they're doing any of that. He's wrong.
You might also not want to eat meat.
You might also may not want to eat meat. Why? Meat is our diet as carnivores. We eat meat. What are you talking about?
And if you want to live a little before you ultimately fall off this mortal coil, I say order a 12-ounce ribeye.
Well, you can eat plenty of good vegan food, dude. You should check out my Instagram. I post.
You can eat it, but you shouldn't eat it. You're breaking the laws of nature. They're drugs. Do not eat plants. All plants are drugs, and all drugs are made from plants. And when they ferment in your stomach, they ferment like alcohol. That's what they do. They ferment in your stomach like alcohol because you can't digest cellulose. You can't digest fiber. That's why you're shitting all day. You're shitting like crazy. Meat does not make you shit because 75% of it is water, is nutrients. And then the rest gets dissolved in the hydrochloric acid in your stomach. So very little shit comes out, but you mostly pee. That's why I can eat like 21 steaks in one seating and some extra, whatever, some seafood stuff. And not shit that day, but pee a lot. And come back the next day and eat another 22 steaks and still not shit. Probably not even shit till the third or the fourth day. And you'd be like, where did it all go? Well, I was peeing a lot. After I eat all that, I usually pee a lot, you know?
Some like food there. I got some really good vegan Chinese takeout.
There's absolutely zero inflammation in your stomach and there's no fermentation. So no fermentation, zero inflammation, that is associated with longevity. Plus, you're not farting and you're not releasing gas or acid reflux or anything like that. And ghrelin and leptin works when you're eating your natural food as a carnivore meat. Leptin kicks in and you can no longer swallow any more nutrients. It's hard to swallow any more nutrients because your cells tell you we're filled with the nutrients now. We have enough nutrients. We're good to go. That's what it tells you. But if you eat a vegan diet, you're constantly starving and hungry because you're nutrient deficient. And if you're nutrient deficient, that's associated with negative nitrogen balance. You're catabolic. That's why they have the vegan compilations where they're losing their hair. I'm no longer vegan. Didn't think I would make this video. My hair is falling out. Loss of energy. My nails are falling out. My pee-pee's not working. Low sex drive and a whole bunch of stuff. And they're dying and their teeth are falling out. And gums are receding and everything because they're now suffering from what we call scurvy if you're catabolic. You're suffering from a, what do you call it? An amino acid deficiency. It has nothing to do with vitamin C. You're suffering from amino acid deficiency because plants are deficient in amino acids and they're not bioavailable.
You can eat good food on a vegan diet and you can enjoy.
What good food can you eat on a vegan diet? It's all poisonous. What are you talking about?
those sorts of foods and live a little longer and a little healthier. So it's
You can't live healthier and you can't live longer poisoning yourself. It ages you poisoning yourself with these toxic plants. Plants are fucking man. They're predators. They're predators, dude. On this planet, they're the they're the alpha organism on this planet. What are you fucking talking about, dude?
win-win. You don't harm animals. You're healthier.
They are apex organisms on this planet. We are apex animals, but they are apex organisms. How do they protect themselves? By toxifying themselves, toxifying their whatever, their leaves, plants, whatever. Don't eat them.
And you can enjoy all the foods you used to enjoy.
You can't enjoy anything. They taste bitter. They taste like shit. They taste like crap. They taste terrible. They taste bitter. Chocolate tastes extremely bitter. It tastes toxic and poisonous. Coffee tastes bitter, poisonous, and toxic. These fruits and these vegetables, they taste bitter and toxic too. They all taste bitter. Therefore, that's the toxins. Onions are highly toxic. When you cut them, they make your eyes water and everything. They taste toxic. All these vegetables, all of these products are bitter and they're toxic.
Except steak.
Well, there's vegan steaks.
Except for steak. Vegan steaks? Why would vegans want to make steaks? I thought they were against animal products.
They're usually made out of seitan.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat a fake steak. Okay. This guy's laughing now at VeganGains like he's fucking out to lunch, dude.
That's not a steak.
It's not a steak.
Well, it's the plant-based
That's
version of the
Satan.
steak.
No, it's not. It's not a steak. It is lacking any nutrients. It's fake. You want us to eat something fake? Here, eat this plastic bowl. Here, eat this. Eat these plastic pebbles. Okay. Whatever. Wow, he's really crazy.
By the way, what's your best bench press?
I guess these vegans are all craving real meat, so they're like, well, let's make these fake meat products. Give me a break, man.
I don't lift weights like that.
No? Okay.
What's your favorite bench press? Here's the thing. Does it really matter? And if it's for one rep, let's say you got there finally for one rep, but your whole body is just lacking in power and it's just deteriorating. It's just deteriorating. It's weakening and deteriorating. Jesus.
I just benched 410 a few weeks ago.
I know many people that benched 410 when I was in in their 30s. I benched 410 too. But so what? So what? Even if I could, I did it for reps, but even though I could do it for reps, who cares really? I mean, if you're deteriorating faster than you're aging, who that gives a shit, bro? None of that is gonna matter.
Cool. Congrats.
Shit.
You want to do a bicep flex?
I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's great.
Compare arms?
Nah, I'd rather.
He wants to compare arms. Can you prove it's based on myofibrillar growth? It's based on an adaptation. He's eating a vegan diet, carbohydrates. There's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy.
Another box.
Yeah.
That looks very sarcoplasmic because it lacks any muscularity. That's sarcoplasmic. There's artificial muscle growth there. I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm just simply putting it out there, the truth. He can check the report in PubMed. 6 weeks of, what is it? Fiber hypertrophy, 6 weeks of training in trained individuals was largely attributed to sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, high volume training. That's like what he's doing. He's on a vegan diet, and I don't even know if maybe he could be using something. I'm not really sure, TRT something. But regardless of that, because he's going to be suffering from low testosterone, low nitrogen balance, low testosterone, a bunch of stuff. He's not eating animal cholesterol, which is associated with high testosterone. Seed oil saturated fats, that cholesterol, that's associated with low testosterone and bad cholesterol.
I've actually, I contacted iDubbbz.
Yeah.
And I told him I wanted to fight with Sam Hyde, but he never got back to me.
VeganGains, and I really don't want to say this in a bad way, but he's a big guy. He's definitely tall. He's a big dude. He's carrying a lot of useless weight, though. He doesn't realize it, but whatever, sarcoplasmic. But yeah, he could go and fight this guy, but I really doubt that he's strong enough to take on these people. I really doubt it. I really doubt it.
Yeah. I don't have anything to say about that guy.
Yeah. He's kind of become ultra cucked.
Yeah. Whatever it is, good luck to him.
But you do have an interest in the betterment of humanity in general, though, don't you?
I wouldn't say I am completely disinterested, but it's something where I realize we're all sinners. We're here because we turned away from God's light, and because of that, we had to be separated from Him. We were not worthy of heaven. And on this mortal coil.
Oh boy, this guy's gonna bring up, like, man, he's gonna bring up the religion stuff. Okay, there's something wrong with both of these people. You can't get any normal people anymore.
Well, for one thing, we were given animals as a source of food and beasts of burden, and in some cases, pets. And when we die, we are going to be judged. And one of those judgments, one of the criteria.
You're not going to be judged when you die. Your whole being on this planet is to create more DNA and just fuck off.
Those judgments is not going to be, did you open up the cage and let the chickens run free?
Are you sure about that?
Nobody's judging you. Nobody's coming. If you don't know what was, how do you know what will be? You don't know anything. You're just making stuff up. He's just making shit up. This just is people makes them feel better to confirm their fake beliefs. Create a fake belief, make it tradition, and then confirm the fake belief. Yes. This is going to do this. This is going to do that. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Yes.
So, if you believe in these biblical stories, what kind of foods do you eat in a garden?
What kind of foods do you eat in a garden?
Yeah, the Garden of Eden. What kind of foods do you normally
There's no Garden of Eden. There's no such thing. There's nothing.
eat in a garden?
Vegetables. Although in the Garden of Eden, that's where Adam named all of the animals that God created.
Well, he named them. Does it mention he ate them?
It's been a while since I've read the story.
It didn't.
I don't know. Did they? They sacrificed animals to this so-called God, didn't they? VeganGains, right? They were sacrificing. I don't know. In this Garden of Eden, they said not to eat the apple. It's a drug, right?
Mention anything about eating them.
Who cares about what some dude wrote? It's probably somebody wrote something as a message to warn people, but they took it. The Italians took it and created it and called it Bible.
Well, when we got
And then
sent
they marketed it as a religion. But meanwhile, it was probably a book to warn you and to teach you, some things.
down here, we were told that animals were to eat.
Yeah, so there's actually a passage from the Bible that says, "No evil shall enter my kingdom, no animals shall be slaughtered." It seems like the original plan that God had was for human beings to just eat plants. So,
Absolutely not. If he had this so-called God dude, what you're talking about, had a plan for us to eat plants, then why are we eating meat? We've been eating meat forever, because that is our natural food. We can never escape something natural. You can try. Everybody's trying. Bill Gates wants you to eat bugs and do this and do that. And, vegan diets, they try to do it with vegan diets, but eventually the vegans all, look at Unnatural Vegan, look at her channel. She tells you they're all dropping off. Why? Why are the vegan compilations coming out? Why is vegan failing? Because something unnatural cannot work in the natural world. Why do we have so many bad divorces and relationships with women? Because you can't change something that's natural instincts. Women are attracted to masculine faces, men, pretty masculine faces. And if you don't have a pretty masculine face, good luck. Good luck. Both of you do not have a masculine face. Look at your faces. They've been corrupted you've been domesticated. Domesticated means you're not a beast anymore. Pigs, when they're put out in the wild, they become boars. They become undomesticated. When they're put into farms, they become domesticated. They lose their muscularity, their fur. They lose their tusks. They're like beasts out in nature. Look at you humans. Look at you people. You're domesticated. Look at you. The reason when they started eating grains, Richard, that's already the domestication. When they started eating grains, that already shows you they went back and science already proves. They said their brains have gotten smaller, bodies have gotten smaller, we've gotten shorter. Yeah, because that's the domestication. We're losing our height, our brain size, our body, and our strength, and our muscle fiber count. Yeah, because you're domesticated.
If you want to fall in line with God's plan, why wouldn't you adopt a plant-based diet?
God's plan? You mean man's plan in a book. There's no such thing as God. That God thing is the God dude. Maybe the God is that. Maybe that's his name. The guy who wrote the book. His name is God. He's some dude. He died already a long time ago. You will die with all your fake gods that you created too.
Holy shit, bro. In the Old Testament, it literally tells you which animals you can eat and which animals you cannot eat. And it's not
Yes, do not eat the carnivore animals, eat the herbivore animals.
even about, well, this is a good animal. It's literally like clean versus unclean.
Yeah, but like I said, God's original plan was for humans to live in the Garden of Eden.
I don't. No, it wasn't. Because there's no such thing as God and it doesn't exist. And whoever this person is, there's no plan for us to live in any garden or anything like that. There's nothing. You're just fabricating. He's making that up.
There's never any mention of killing animals. There was.
He's making this stuff up. He's making up a story. This is wonderful. I love this.
You know what kind of foods you typically eat in a garden. So if
a garden? They called it Garden of Eden. They didn't say there were any plants growing there in a garden. A garden is fake. It doesn't exist on this planet. There's only forests. Richard, there are only forests, rivers, lakes, mountains, and forests. And animals roaming this planet. There are no gardens. You understand me? Gardens are man-made, you moron.
Wanted to live more in alignment with God, why wouldn't you eat a plant-based diet?
There's no such thing as a garden. It doesn't exist in nature. Neither does vegan diet or any of the bullshit that you're fucking pumping out.
God's original plan, regardless of what it was, is not the plan that's going on now. We got cast down from the Garden of Eden, from paradise, because
we didn't get cast down, fucking cast out of a garden that doesn't exist. Christ.
We ate a fruit. We ate fruit, and
we didn't eat any fruit. Somebody made that up. We didn't eat any fruit, okay? Fruit is engineered by man. They're engineering these fruits. Maybe they found something somewhere on the planet. They were traveling around and they found something. They started engineering them, okay?
everything went to shit. Eat a steak, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so...
Yes, he's absolutely right. Everything went to shit. When they ate the apple, it went to shit. It's a drug. Because sugar is a drug. It's a very powerful drug. So, eat a steak.
You're admitting you're committing sin by eating meat.
No.
No.
Yeah, you are.
When the fuck did I say that?
No.
Well, you admit that.
Sins don't exist. They're fake. They're fabricated. They're in your brain. Can you touch a sin, feel it, touch it, see it? Can you literally see a sin? Can you see it, touch it, feel it, or anything? Or hear it? No, because it doesn't exist. It's only in your head. It's in your brain.
Again, God's original plan was for people to eat a plant-based...
Where is this God? You make it sound like there's a man out there, a single man called a God that created all this. There's no God out there. There's just the universe, and how the universe got here, you're never gonna know. It's something beyond your understanding.
diet, just eating foods you would typically see in a garden. It's also mentioned in the Bible.
Yeah, but there are no foods in a garden. There's no gardens. There's no gardens. They don't exist on this planet, Richard. What food would you eat in a garden? You keep saying Garden of Eden, but they didn't say that there were any fruits or vegetables that grew in that so-called garden. They meant garden like you as a human live in the garden, and there's animals and they eat grass there in the garden. And then we eat the animals to keep us healthy.
that once you go into his kingdom, no animals are slaughtered. So there's no meat in heaven.
Yeah, in his kingdom.
Heaven? You have to die to get to heaven, Richard. You want to die to get there?
Yeah, there's no meat in heaven.
That's
so
different
do
from
you,
down here where we were told to eat
So,
the
look-
food that was given to us by God, which includes cattle and other wild animals.
we weren't supposed to eat them. So
No, we're not supposed to eat toxic, poisonous plants or sugar because it's a drug. Like fruits, they're drugs. We're not supposed to eat those. They're toxic and they're poisonous in walking through the forest. You're supposed to eat meat, Richard.
Well, God told us to. I'm just
Well,
listening
he
to
didn't.
God. I don't need to
He
listen
didn't
to
tell
Gaines.
you
I need
to eat
listen
them.
to God.
he
Yeah,
didn't tell you to eat them. He said it's
we were literally
Yeah, he told us to eat them, okay?
told by God
Because I say so, and so does the Bible. Okay, how about that?
at
what
best.
animals we can
At
and
best,
cannot eat.
at best, he said it's permitted. So
Permitted? No. It's you have to eat that to be healthy, otherwise you'll die.
Yeah.
you're going away from God, according to your, biblical scripture.
Where is this going, this conversation, man? Richard has to bring up the most fake things to confirm some people's fake beliefs out there. Jesus.
If you eat meat.
What a manipulator.
On top of that,
Holy shit.
on top of that, if you
This
look at
is
the
hilarious.
New Testament, Jesus also walked.
Holy, here we go, Jesus too, man. Like, yeah, you know for a fact there was a guy out there called Jesus, a real person that walked around. Man, people made up stuff, okay? I love this one. He's walked on water and all that. Sure. Let me put some planks in the water. Let me walk on it, make a story about a guy or whatever, okay?
Into some of these temples and said that it's a bloodbath. It's a slaughterhouse.
How do you know he walked into these temples? How do you know he even existed? How do you know he walked in these temples and did all that? Were you there?
He was actually mad at these temples.
How do you know he was mad at these temples? You haven't even proved he's existed yet, and he's already mad? How'd you know this? VeganGains, I didn't know VeganGains was a 2,000-year-old centenarian.
For slaughtering animals. He didn't want to see that. He thought it was wrong to slaughter animals.
Wow, I guess vegans are that long-lived, eh? Because VeganGains has lived over 2,000 years. That's incredible. Jesus.
He thought it was wrong to sacrifice animals and other, with humans for that matter. Although that was an Old Testament thing anyway that was carried over. But he thought it was pointless and frankly ridiculous to sacrifice animals.
He didn't say it
to
was
God.
pointless. He said it was immoral. He called it a bloodbath. He referred to it as a slaughterhouse. He didn't like animals being killed. Period.
Yes, because these Pharisees, I forget what the Jews call their priests, but these holy men were doing so in a way that was more so just a ritual for ritual's sake, like in the way that if you were to eat meat and be like, oh no, it's fine because I'll just eat double the lentils tomorrow. That's what he was referring to. That's why he was fed up with the way that they were acting in the temple. And that's what happened when he went into the temple and saw money changers also doing their thing. He ended up driving them out with a bullwhip. So are you saying that money is not ethical as well because Jesus said so?
Well, he was against
according to a,
usury.
Christian. Oh, yeah.
He wasn't against money. He was against usury.
Yes, but he was also against
Slaughtering
commerce
animals.
in the temple.
He was also against slaughtering animals. He
In
criticized.
the temple as a way to get away with.
No,
your
he just
sin.
plain and simple was against slaughtering animals. And again, if you believe in God, you'd believe in
We're not slaughtering animals for no reason. We are hunting animals so that we can eat, like any other hunter that's out there.
the Holy Trinity. Jesus would have said, "No evil shall enter my kingdom, and no animal should be slaughtered." Jesus sees animal slaughter as
And why would a god put fucking poison in plants to protect them, and then say we can't eat animals and we have to eat poison so we could die? That makes absolutely no sense. So I'll make it this straight. I have to eat poison ivy, right? And the cyanide and arsenic and everything, and poison myself. Well, how will I ever, I will die before I even become old enough. I'll be dead eating poisonous plants. My hair will fall out and everything. There's nutrient deficiencies. It's not bioavailable. You can't digest fiber. None of these things work in a human. What kind of God would do that to a person, toxify you to death with poison and everything, try to make you digest fiber when your body can't digest it, and then you start, your teeth start receding, you're at negative nitrogen balance, your hair falls out and everything, and you're just like deteriorating really fast and you die without having a chance to procreate. That is fucking stupid. I never heard anything like that in my entire life. What kind of God would do that?
Is evil.
That's evil. That would be an evil God to make you eat toxic plants, poisonous plants, so you can poison yourself and die. Then the human race would die. We wouldn't make it. We won't make it. We won't make it, man. We'll be dead. Already, the Egyptians, when they started running out of eating meat, these Egyptians, the pharaohs, they started eating the bread, man, because they were starving. They started eating bread, and then they found they died at 20. They're lucky they even lived to 30 or something. I don't know. Maybe they had some meat there. But those who didn't eat meat at all, they barely made it to 20, like King Tutankhamun and all these. They got diseases and died eating bread. Yeah, drinking beer and wine, whatever else they discovered they made there out of these grains and whatever they were eating there.
Yeah, slaughtering animals in order to try and cover up the great sins that you committed against God. Yes.
No, he sees animal slaughter as evil.
That is quite literally what it was.
Again, if he was to see that as eating animals, which he made us into carnivores to eat animals, he saw that as evil, then why did he make us carnivores then? Why wouldn't he give us a 4-stage stomach like a cow so that we can eat grass all day, Richard? We don't eat grass. We don't go outside on the field and we eat grass all day. You stupid fuck.
Again, God is quoted as saying, "No evil shall enter my kingdom. No animal."
No, he hasn't, because he doesn't exist. You dumb fuck.
Animals shall be slaughtered.
Listen, you stupid fucker. He doesn't exist. You fucking asshole. Fuck off. Listen, shut the fuck up, okay? Shut the fuck up, already. Gee Christ.
Sees animal slaughter as evil. So you're committing.
The only evil person is here. You trying to convince people to eat a poisonous diet is evil. You are the most evilest fucking person I've ever seen in my entire life online, bro. I don't know, but honestly, you're an evil person. If you're trying to get people to be sick by eating a vegan fake diet, you are a fucking evil piece of shit. And you don't even believe in any of that stuff, because if you did, you'd know that you were committing a sin by poisoning people. By poisoning people, trying to feed them a poison diet, you are a fucking asshole, bro.
By slaughtering animals according to your own beliefs.
You're purposefully...
Forget about the animals. They're inconsequential. They will reproduce. They will keep coming and reproducing. You understand me? They will reproduce. Animals die. They come and they go. They die like everybody else.
Taking allegory. You're purposefully taking allegory and interpreting it purposefully because it fits your thing. You've memorized like 3 or 4, not even full passages, just like, the like literally like the 4 or 5 words each.
So if God
that allows you to believe that you know something about
Christianity, if God says,
and then you turn around and you try and spit it at me as though I don't know my shit. I might not be a Bible thumper. I might not be the kind of person who can quote things off of memory, but I have read.
Christ.
Not all of the Bible.
This is crazy.
Most of the Bible.
I'm
working on it.
I'm gonna move
animals.
Right. But yeah, no. Look, Jesus knows a con. Jesus knows.
What is this religion stuff, bro? This is all fake.
Bullshit when he sees it, and he knows.
No, you're not. You could eat a plant-based diet and never support factory farming.
You could eat it and then die. That's what VeganGains saying. He says, eat it long enough till it shortens your lifespan and you die a fucking miserable, painful death. That is really stupid.
But you choose not to do that.
No.
Yeah, he chooses not to eat poison. Yes, yes, Richard.
I couldn't.
You absolutely could. If then,
You're not doing it. You're lying. I don't believe you.
what is stopping you?
I don't believe you. I
In
don't
addition
believe you.
to,
What?
in addition to,
Well, they tried to rape an angel.
ooh,
Rape an angel? There's no such thing as an angel. You're not an angel.
man, maybe if smallpox, if the flu virus, etc., etc., was indeed a punishment from God, which not all of them are punishments from God, but you know, there's a few that you could.
There's no punishments from God. There's nothing. There's nothing. There's just the natural environment. Things that are happening natural. It's the nature of natural things, the way they come out, the way this, the way that. Things are just unfolding.
Probably convince me of.
But we are partaking in unnatural things. The only thing humans can do is manipulate the environment. They don't have any knowledge, because if they had knowledge, they wouldn't be here. They don't have no power. Human beings have no. Human beings don't know anything. That's why you can't rely or trust them, because they don't know anything.
All right. Do you want to make an ending statement or anything?
Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Yeah. I love that one. Shut the fuck up.
All right. Well, take care, dude. Maybe we can talk another time or something about maybe another topic. But
Yeah, sure.
enjoy the rest of your night, man.
You too. Have a good one.
That was fucking hilarious, man. I don't know what the fuck that was all about.
All right.
Oh, he's got go at his Severage. All right. You gonna do a video?
Well, that
on it?
was nice. And your neck literally goes up like that. That can.
I wonder if
Diets
it
are
was-
helpful.
It's gay. That's
Okay, Severage. That was good. I don't know if he's gonna do anything on Severage.
Shocked that the first one was pro.
Yeah, I was gonna do something
Also,
on
it's the
Severage.
same. Bible teaches humans have dominion over him.
I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. Let's see the Severage stuff, man. Come on.
Society. Now, that overnight raid focused on the northern peers.
Okay.
Ben,
he said
I don't
that it
know.
was okay.
I don't know.
Tip number 2, we want to be in a hip hinge position. Hip hinge means my shoulder.
degree. Also able to demonstrate
I'm not sure what influencer taught you this, but you're going to.
diets are helpful.
It's gay.
Is he gonna do something on Severage or not? Shit.
VG, how did you not know I'm Joe Linton like all the chat knew and even fucking Christy knew? I think like literally how didn't you know? I'm sure I've said before. Also please smoke some weed and have edibles and get high.
Still paying that right there.
Maybe later. Thanks for the donation, Booty
I
Cam.
guess he's not gonna do it. I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you in the next video, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends.